Hello, and welcome back. We are here for Game 3, the grand decider between St Andrews and Exeter. Both teams with their position in the tournament on the line as we come back to the Bud Light Fearless NSE Dota 2 tournament for this season. Now, removed from the pool, we have a large number of heroes. To round those off, for those of you who haven't joined us so far, the heroes that have been removed from the pool, standing the fearless rules, are Marcy, Nature's Prophet, Faceless Void, Enchantress, Sniper, Warlock, Juggernaut, Darkseer, Clockwork, OD, Queen of Pain, Wraith King, Rubik, Ancient Apparition, Dawnbreaker, Jakiro, Night Stalker, Phantom Assassin, Batrider, and the Earthshaker that was mid last game but was not able to do enough to give Exeter their 2-0 victory, which brings us now to our game right here. And for the third game in a row, Ember Spirit absolutely refuses to be allowed to be picked, as either Exeter knows that there is a fine Ember Spirit player on the side of St Andrews, or simply knows something else about the strategy, or doesn't want to play against it at all. Magnus and Pangolier also being removed from the pool, along with Dazzle, all heroes that are quite strong in this patch.
5 seconds.
All heroes that have a lot of ways to shift the balance of a team fight in a myriad of different ways.
Radiant's turn to ban.
But as the pool gets smaller and smaller, where are St Andrews and Exeter going to find their inspiration for their picks?
5 seconds. Dyer's turn.
Is their hero pool more of a hero puddle? And which team is going to be caught out first by the disappearing hero
5
choice?
seconds remain. Dyer's turn to pick.
I can only pity those teams that are going on to a Game 5. I understand that at the moment Sheffield Samurai and I believe it's XD Reborn from Nottingham are currently scrapping it out for the I believe it's is it XD Reborn? It is XD Reborn that they're playing against. It seems like they're currently still ongoing in their game. If you want to find, if you're in the Discord for the BUDL Fearless NSE tournament, you can find the stream for the for that game, that best of 5 in the general chat. So if you like, you can have 2 whole streams of Dota happening both at the same time.
Seconds.
Opening up with the Lifestealer, now slipping through the bans. It was on Exeter's ban list the last 2 games, but this time it has managed to get through, and St Andrews have snapped it up. A very powerful Radiance carrying right-click damage hero with a built-in Black King bar, debuff immunity, so many tools, as well as an escape of his own through his Infest. So much to play with. And in response, we have a Zeus, likely a support, coming out at this early stage. I've recently had some very poor experiences with support Zeuses, depending on their item build. Shout out to Timon, terrible Zeus that you would not want on your team. But if this Zeus does go for a support build and doesn't rush a Kanda, then it may have some impact in this game.
It is Radiant's ban.
Spending some time thinking over the bans there, Exeter, and they've gone with the Winter Wyvern, removing that healing, possibly to stop the save against the Lifestealer physical damage, and the Winter's Curse ult piercing BKB.
10 radius turn to pick.
And in return, the Razor, a very capable Lifestealer counter, being knocked out of the pool as well. High move speed and getting kited around whilst having his attack damage reduced is something that Lifestealer generally does not enjoy. So,
5 seconds remain.
Razor being a very sensible ban. St. Andrews biding their time. Waiting and seeing. Mulling their options over, and they go for the Lich. Not as strong a hero as he was last patch, but still with a reasonable toolkit. Good slows and catch, able to stop this Lifestealer from getting kited all over the place, pull people in, give Lifestealer the slows, the frost armor on him also giving him extra durability to be able to dish out his physical damage, and his ticks of what is undoubtedly going to be a Radiance. Surely a Radiance. It's very rare that I have seen a Lifestealer not pick up a Radiance in recent weeks.
Dyer's turn to pick.
Tidehunter.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds.
So the Tidehunter coming through here was banned in the previous game by St. Andrews. They didn't want to deal with him. Tidehunter being a somewhat of a reasonable laner against Lifestealer with the Kraken Shell Dispel for open wounds, as well as the Anchor Smash, being able to reduce attack damage, a big AoE of attack damage as well. Lifestealer not having the most armor in the world. I think that is one of the weaknesses of the hero, especially in the laning phase. And then Tidehunter being coupled up probably with a Zeus, but with a CM position 5 going down there into the safe lane, I'm guessing. And oh, we have an IO followed by a Leshrac. Interesting. So now IO has had some changes recently to his has some tweaks, as I understand. But Overcharge, giving the spell amplification of up to 14% and the max health regen, could possibly be the difference between this Leshrac being able to survive and outlast people. Dish out the punishment. I mean, IO Lifestealer also a very good combo with the bonus attack speed, but at least laning against the Tidehunter, it's going to be very difficult to run this guy down over a long period, just with that Dispel to think about. Blubber, I think it's called.
Dyer's turn to bat.
Excuse me, I'm a bag of yawns tonight. So we have Invoker coming out. Looks like we have, these are likely our mid laners, I think. I think that is not a Leshrac offlane, so we might need an offlane next.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds remain.
Or at least St. Andrews is going to need an offlaner. But I think with Exeter we can put good money on our big watermelon boy there, Tidehunter, taking over the offlane role. So Exeter looking for a right-click carry, I'm assuming, a position 1, and StAGS looking for, I think, their offlane.
It is Radiant's ban.
And Exeter's kind of feeling this out, going for that Timbersaw ban. High damage, a high pure damage tanky hero that would possibly bulk up St. Andrews' lineup.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds remain. Radiant's turn to ban.
Banning out the anti-mage.
It is Dire's ban.
StAGS correctly identifying that it's a carry that Exeter needs, but there are still some good options still available in the pool. Likely lining up next to a Crystal Maiden as well.
Seconds. 5 seconds. Dire's turn to pick.
And last but not least, that ban of a Beastmaster. So it looks like Exeter have identified that it is a tanky frontliner that St. Andrews are looking for, so get rid of some of the most troublesome options for their lineup. And what are they going to respond with? They've only got 30 seconds to give us a reply. So we should have our final hero for Exeter of this series very, very soon.
5 seconds remain.
Looks like they're eager to make use of all of the time to think about this. Could be an important decision. Could make or break their tournament. And we are going to have an Alchemist coming in. Without the inclusion of a traditional Spirit Vessel buyer on the side of St. Andrews, it is a reasonable Alchemist game.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds.
From my own personal experience with Dota 2 in recent weeks, I have been seeing a resurgence in the first item Midas Rush Invoker in my solo pubs. I am at the point now where I suffer a genuine trauma response when I see an Invoker buy a Gloves of Haste, and before their brown boots and before any stat items. And I'm inclined, to be fair, when I see those Gloves of Haste get queued up, I am inclined to report them immediately. Because Invoker, I feel, is a hero that it really benefits from having a single item to be able to allow them to rotate, to use their wide plethora of spells and team fight. Something like Boots of Travel, something like a Witchblade or an Orchid or something along those lines. Before they then invest in the Midas. Midas second, I think, is really solid on Invoker. Really not to be underestimated, but they just need that little something to line up their spells, depending on what combo of Quaswex Exhort you go for. You could go for a Rod of Atos, you could go for an Orchid, you could go for some other thing. But Midas Rush Invoker is the bane of my pubs, and every game I have it on my team, I lose. Every time I see it on the enemy team, I do celebrate, because then it will also lose. It isn't just a case of just when it's on my team it does badly. I don't see it do well. But then there are many players in this game here that are a lot better than the players that I meet in my pubs in Ancient Bracket, and are much more efficient with their farming, I hope. So we will see how Ares does. Looks like there's been a little bit. Oh, Ares, Eldred, Bailey. Oh no, it's just different actual sort of pro names versus their actual their like Steam profile names. I see. Holy smokes, 15-5 wins and losses as IO in the last 20 matches. That's a little bit crazy. Respect. Alright, so we are here we are on our final game of the series, final game of the night. Unless you are also tuned into the Sheffield Samurai and XD Reborn game on the other side. Yes, the previous 2 games, a valiant showing from St Andrews that ended in defeat after a brief comeback in the first game. In the second game, Exeter absolutely rolled. And we will see how that transpires for this game here. Both teams hovering around the Tier 1 tower. A quick smoke pop from, I believe it's Exeter. Yep, Exeter on the dire side for the 3rd time in a row.
Consider yourself warned.
Heading up, they've spotted themselves a Lich. This looks like a very likely first blood. As down goes Lich. Gold there going over to our Alchemist and getting that little bit of benefit from the Greevil's Greed. Not too much, but it's nice to have an extra 4 gold in your pocket. It's 4 gold you wouldn't have.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Lich crying already. Smile. As 1, 2, 3. Is that 3 runes? Yeah, 3 runes going in the favour of the... No, sorry, I am blind. So it's 2 for 2 on the runes and a first blood going on the way of Exeter. So we will see fairly even trade. Nice money on your carry out to have so early on that he's able to... Well, it will rush him very much quicker towards his Radiance as we think both carries are going to be obviously lining up their Radiances.
By Zeus.
A little bit of right-click bullying goes down from the Pos for Zeus.
Denied.
Armed with a couple of stat items. As up on top here, this IO looking very sore. Going down to the Alchemist. A 2nd kill for him right off the bat.
I know.
Whereas over here, on the middle lane, things looking pretty tight, or pretty standard. Last hits and denies. Who's in the lead? Invoker losing dramatically on last hits. Goodness me. Not what you like to see for your Invoker. Grossly behind, even at this early stage. As up on the top lane, both heroes here, level 1. IO getting that D-ward there. Lich making sure there is a D-ward clear down here. A lot of sentries being dewarded all at once. Just shows the difference of the caliber of player when there is this sort of this mechanical level of supporting work being done, all on the same timings, all at the same time. Almost the second that these supports realise that a camp is blocked that they will need for pulling in their side lanes, immediately being managed. Quite a bit of burst damage going out on this Lifestealer. Has he gone too far? Not quite. He's okay for the moment, but looking a little bit sore. Zeus having used up all of his regen. On the top lane, it's ongoing there. Oh, Leshrac, mighty dive for this. He's thinking about it. He's going to relent. But he is absolutely rocking the last hit. 6 to 18 is a very frightening showing. Hollow Purple not showing his mid lane credentials so far in this series, I feel. His previous game as the oh goodness me, what was he playing? Earthshaker? I want to say the previous game, his Earthshaker had some serious problems with farming. A very late Blink Dagger and a late Aghanim Scepter. I don't think he even picked up the Aghanim Scepter in the end. The game was that one-sided. But up top, a fallen Alchemist underneath the Metamorphosis, and it could be a fallen CM as well if they can get a little more. One more last hit. One more hit. And down goes the CM. Oh, and oh god, and a Lifestealer on bottom. Down to a Sunstrike as Hollow Purple, although not able to do so much in his lane, is keeping his eyes peeled on the map and getting those Sunstrikes. So, St Andrews had better beware.
Impugned.
A bit bit of bullying happening. The Kraken Shell being dropped, make him extra tanky against the Lifestealer last hits. But this Leshrac is just absolutely crushing this lane so far. Almost a level, well, now level 5. Invoker not too far behind, is able to stand in, but 13 denies is a very sad showing gold-wise for this Invoker. Leshrac with an unfortunate disconnect is going to be getting a reset. On the top lane, it's Terrorblade taking a little bit of damage. He has to be wary of this magic damage able to be dealt at by the Crystal Maiden. With his very low health, strength and health pool of nearly 26 strength. Having only 19 more health than a Crystal Maiden is frightening for any core. So as the lanes settle for a little while, Zeus looking to make some stacks. Don't think he's going to be able to get this. Don't know if he got that ancient stack. Yeah, he didn't get that one. That was unfortunate. Interesting aggro order on the camps there. Not the way it's been known to be done. But Lich standing far forward as Zeus just comes back to the lane. Might be able to punish this Lich. Oh, but the wand is there. The charges are ready. Whereas up on top, oh, this Alchemist is very, very low. Also struggling for CS against this Terrorblade with the 8 denies. 18 denies now on the Leshrac. Starting to get further and further ahead as time goes on. Oh, but up top, Alchemist unable to do anything with 170 health. The Crystal Maiden just goes down to those right clicks from the Metamorphosis. Oh, and Tidehunter as well, falling on the bottom lane, being run down by the Lifestealer and Lich. This slow combination, the continuous slow of Frost Armor, does not care about your Blubberser. Quick fort happening middle as it looks like the dive is happening. This has been lining up for a while. Hollow Purple about to fall. Pops the Fairy Fire, tries to hold together. Leshrac out of mana. Was a little bit of a spicy one there. That could have got... If there was a turn up from either side from the supports, that could have been really rough for the Leshrac, but it was not to be, and Invoker falls anyway. The quick pause just to get our bearings. Somebody having maybe some technical difficulties. The Alchemist still being bullied out of this lane. Desperately needs this salve. Fortunately, no reflection to clip him and just get rid of that. But how far ahead are we here? What are we up to net worth wise? So it looks like this is a StAGS run game so far. That this mid lane Leshrac really doing the work, causing a plethora of problems for Hollow Purple, who is lining up the fast Midas. Hold on, let me just open up my scoreboard. Reports. What this player for? No, not at all. But it is a build that I have seen not do very well in a lot of places, and I hope that Hollow Purple will prove me wrong and demonstrate that it has some real potential for impact. My fear, of course, is that in about 15 minutes' time we're going to see the Tier 1 tower dead, and this Invoker sat firmly in the safe jungle camps, trying to make a resurgence. Down here we have the Tidehunter being chipped. The rage goes down. He can't get away. That's another kill for our lifestealer. As up top, the dive is happening. Crystal Maiden with the frostbite, desperately clinging on for dear life. Not enough. But the Sunstrike will be partially shielded by the IO with 3-second cooldown left on Metamorphosis. Is up in the triangle here. Lich is scouting out some. Lich is scouting out the ancient camp. He's spotted out the stacks, but there is going to be a very swift response, and that is going to be a kill on the board for the Invoker. Much required to bring him back into this game a little bit. The faster he gets this Midas, the happier he shall be, and the more unhappy I shall be. Dropping the Metamorphosis to smash this tower down. They do have a 45 available. And they're going to drop it. That is a non-refundable one, as they did not use it for the middle lane. Now, possible turnaround here. Possible turnaround here. Not quite enough. Is Yalt going to stun himself? No. Sunstrike? Oh my lord. That was spicy. That was a very nice combo, actually. But the Alchemist runs straight into the Leshrac, and he's not going to get away from him. With only level 1 ultimate, not nearly enough regeneration. As this Leshrac running away with the game a little bit at this early stage. And Invoker hanging out in some jungle camps. 400 gold from his Midas, 500 gold. I've seen this script before. My friends call me mad. I say no. I've seen the devil, and his name is Eclipse of Haste. Yeah, quickly trying to sweep away this neutral camp before the Radiant can come in and take it. There is a Ravage going down. The relocation coming in. Tidehunter getting mopped up there, and just enough to pip a couple of these creeps from the camp before they get returned back to the top lane like this. There we go. Lifestealer considering the dive. But Zeus is savvy enough that he leaps preemptively, gets himself out of trouble.
There is little hope for Dire's middle tower.
Io just finished the mechanism. That's going to be connecting up with the Leshrac. Alongside the overcharge, it's going to be some really big damage coming out on these Pulse Novas, even at level 1. And this Leshrac is not a very starving child. He is, he's big, and he's ready to go, and he's going in. And he grabs himself a quick little fella first.
Dire's bottom tower.
Now also pursuing, hoping they can chase down the Zeus. He's used jump. This is a dead fella, unfortunately. But the neutral creep, the Tomato Hellbear, seizes the opportunity and claims a kill for the neutral camps.
This'll come in handy.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower.
Track looking to put some pressure down, get rid of the final tier 1 for Exeter. Bumped out. Backed up by Ego, Easto and Megaman. Over here, Terrorblade, happy to start working on his farm. Going for that Pipe of Insight, so we'll give him some much required magic resistance against a team that has a lot of spell damage against such a low HP hero. That Ring of Tarask also going to be of huge value to him with such a tiny pool. This is the combination that I was thinking was going to happen. So we have the Tide drops the Ravage, no way to follow up. That is a 150-second spell down and on cooldown.
Dire's bottom tower is in danger. Radiant should look to their middle tower.
Majority of Exeter have been relegated to the safe lane jungle, sitting kind of within the Alchemist's farming patterns where really he should be. He has just finished his Radiance, and it's actually, because the, I mean, I suppose the Lifestealer has gone for an additional item, but the Lifestealer is further away from his Radiance than Alchemist is, but you'd be very upset if your Alchemist was falling behind a Lifestealer for Radiance timing. All they need is an opportunity for Alchemist to head down to the secret shop in 100 gold's time and snag that. Down in the mid lane, working hard to bring down this Leshrac. Can't quite pin him down. Lich coming in, dropping the spells, trying to bring down the Invoker, but they can't quite get to him. The sentry under the tower, giving him a little bit of vision, but he's just too VP. The Lifestealer, the Lifestealer infest, running up the high ground, takes down the Tide and the Zeus, both out of the picture as the two of them sent back to the fountain, and the rest of the team on St. Andrew's side going to be taking on a tier 2 tower instead. They did lose Megan and the Lich at the back there to a bit of a combination of a pair of spells. Side still without Ravage for 30 seconds. Gives an opportunity for St. Andrews to bag themselves their first tier 2 tower.
Dire's middle tower is no more.
Tom is up, as is the opportunity to get Aghanim Shards. Looks like Demon Zeal is going to be first on Terrorblade's list now that he's got his Pipe of Insight. The Leshrac going in, looking for an easy kill on the Zeus, but doesn't have the means. The quick tornado from Invoker, able to rescue his support and get them out of there. This Leshrac is just a occupational hazard for the entirety of the Exeter team. And it looks like they're looking for another hazard to make of themselves again as they get close in on this Alchemist. Can they close him down? They drop the ultimate. Alchemist with the regen. It's not going to be enough with the overcharge spell amplification, and it brings them down. But have they gone too deep? Leshrac out of mana. They're looking for the relocate. They weren't able to get it. Cancelled. And Io will be allowed to slip away, but they get that all-important Leshrac, a hearty 700 gold, 1200 total, 1300 going the way of Exeter. Much required gold at this stage of the game after the unfortunate start that we had for Hollow Purple. Oh, Creep Ravage. They throw some damage. There's a little bit of them wanting to take advantage of this. They run. The Sunder is up. Might be a bit of a frightening goal to go for. Oh, the Sunder missed time just as the mechanism goes down, so the health is barely negated. Tide standing his ground, trying to take on the Terrorblade. Not much love. Io also looking to tether away, manages to slip away, hitting the tornado. Still survives. Leshrac back in and ready to rumble, and the reflections getting the slows. This Crystal Maid not looking too happy as she's going to go down to a click from the Terrorblade. And Lifestealer past the tier 2 tower, going for more. The quick pick up on the Leshrac goes in properly. That Rod of Atos. See, I told you, if he'd gotten that first with the Sunstrike, more value than this. But that's my personal opinion. Lifestealer. Going in on this Tide Hunter. This Tide Hunter is coming down again. Coming down with a case of the chain feed, unfortunately. Giving it Lifestealer that extra bit of HP, an extra bit of gold, and now sitting at a hearty 250 additional health. They go and back themselves another tier 2. The Tormentor sitting on the bottom side if they want to head back for it.
Radiant should look to their bottom tower.
Alchemist closing in on finishing his Blink Dagger. Might give Exeter some ability to get back into this game with that Blink concoction. Very good combination. Crystal Maiden getting gone on. Doesn't have the rod. No, doesn't have the Glimmer Cape to be able to protect herself, but is able to be saved by the Invoker with the Rod of Atos, the Impact Rod of Atos. But StAGS looking to step away for now. Lifestealer coming up to take some creeps. There is a Zeus nearby looking to stop the push, just clear out the creep wave and stay away from this Lifestealer if he can. Alchemist prepared with the Blink Dagger. Might go to look for initiation somewhere. If the Invoker can be standing behind him ready with the spells, this might be fine. But we end up with the Lesh going in on the Alchemist. Chemical Rage has been popped. Not going to be enough as he goes down to the combined damage. This Demon Zeal damage is obscene.
Fallen.
Lifestealer running in. Oh, they quickly run down the CM. Combination going down on the left track again, but the healing is there from the Isle this time. Not going to happen. Ravage falling. Invoker down. Zeus down. Tide down. Alchemist relegated to the fountain. No Chemical Rage. No way of stopping this push. And that looks like it is going to be even quicker than previous game. A 20-minute Rax on the bottom lane for St. Andrews. And this is not looking good for Exeter's chances of survival in this tournament. Even at the Metamorphosis still ready to go. Looks like it's going to be a second set of racks. They used all their spells. All they have is Freezing Field when it comes to ultimates to be able to call upon. And this is looking like a swift third game exit. Down goes the Crystal Maiden. Still Freezing Field on cooldown. She has the buyback if there's anything to fight for left. The heal from the IO keeping this Leshrac up. Invoker torn down. Tide Hunter torn down in the fountain at 21 minutes. Lifestealer able to be caught. The Leshrac running real low, but wasn't able to. They had the mech. Just going to lose the Leshrac. They're going to chill a bit. Still plenty to play for. They can get maybe some kills on this left, Oh, but no, the Crystal Maiden instead is going to be torn apart. Mercy for Maiden. As Avril Lavigne, things are so complicated.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Once again, XP change, more damage output in such a burst in a short span of time.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And for now, Dire will survive. One set of racks remaining.
In service to imbalance.
But some buybacks used, a hearty amount of gold lead, and a Roshan about to fall, likely to go on. Guessing Leshrac? The Terrorblade is not really dying, which is surprising. Yeah, the Terrorblade has not died. On the contrary, it's he is the only person who hasn't died. 7-0 and 11, a very strong line, like KDA score for him. This poor Tide is, hand on heart, not had the greatest impact. Just too many times he's been caught alone, used his ultimate quite needlessly to try and just dish out a stun for whatever reason, when in truth, at this stage, Ravage is more valuable than that Tidehunter's life. So long as he gets it off, it doesn't matter if he dies. And he just needs people to follow up. Leshrac with another disconnect. His one weakness, his bandwidth.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
So Exeter coops up in their high ground, keeping their distance. Probably a bit of a scary situation to go out into right now. But desperate for BKBs and defensive items. They've gone for the Vlads. The pipe is queued up, but are they gonna have the time to put that thing together? Ravage falls, Blink and Ravage goes down, the Lifestealer was infested and ready to go. They're trying to shut down this, trying to kill this IO. Tide's going down, IO finally falls. Alchemist brought down as well. Truly, I said it last game, it's one of my favourite things to say, the lights going out for Exeter. Another kill on the Invoker. Zeus stands alone as the final tier 3 is going to be taken down by the Demon Zeal Illusions. They're going to tear that thing apart, and GG is called. It has been a great series. After going a game down in the first game, Exeter looked so strong, and StAGS looked like they may be in for some real trouble, but after a stomping performance in the second game, and even more stomping performance in the third game, where 24 minutes, they are dragging them to Mega Creeps. GG was called. Someone's cancelled the GG. Actual toxicities as Exeter leaves the tournament. It's Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden just wants to be out. And there we have it. St. Andrews moving on to the next round. A fantastic pair of performances in game 2 and 3 from them, demonstrating a fantastic versatility in the draft. That Terrorblade offlane in that final game, holy smokes, it made piecemeal of that safe lane. That Crystal Maiden having a very Crystal Maiden game coming out of that lane, dying a total only twice in the lane. The Alchemist falling twice as well. Terrorblade and was it IO? It was IO up there, I'm sure it was. Yeah, Terrorblade and IO taking full advantage of that. TB, a full 1,000 gold up on the Alchemist carry. A hero that, if he's behind coming out of the lane, you know you are in for trouble. But there was not enough done to deal with this Leshrac. The coming out of the lane, nearly 2,000 gold up on the Midas Rush Invoker. And I'll be honest, I am glad that justice was served and that another Midas Invoker has been plunged into the Shadow Realm. But that's it for tonight. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time, and I hope you enjoyed today's Dota. And we look forward to picking things up next week, where I hope to be playing, I hope to be casting for you guys again. But have a lovely evening, have a lovely week, and we will see you next time for Bud Light Fearless Dota 2 tournament, sponsored by NSE. Thank you and good night.